Internship University, World Education Policy. It is my great honor and privilege to welcome all of you today to our World Youth Skills Day 2026. It's a global celebration. Today we gather under the theme Skills for a Shared Future, a theme that reminds us that the future is not something that simply happens to us. It is something we create together. We live in a world of extraordinary change every day that we open our eyes. Something has become obsolete and something is absolutely new. Technology is transforming industries. Artificial intelligence is reshaping how we lead work and how we lead our life. How many of you have met someone that says, my best friend is Claude, or my best friend is Chat? Things have definitely changed. New careers are emerging while others evolve before our very own eyes. In this rapidly changing environment, every day, skills need to be updated. We need to be upskilling, reskilling. Everything has become very, very important, but most importantly, opportunities abound. Skills are much more than just employment. Skills create confidence, they create dignity, create leadership, create pathways to innovation, entrepreneurship, and social impact. Most importantly, these skills empower young adults to become the architects of their future, but also our future. Today, we are joined by an exceptional group of educators, policymakers, youth leaders, diplomats, entrepreneurs, advocates, and global change makers. I know we use that word a lot, change makers, and it sounds even cliche, but the truth is I would not name this group any other thing. They are actually creating change as we speak. They truly believe in accelerated action. At IIU and World Education Policy, we believe that every young person deserves access to quality education, meaningful opportunities, and the tools necessary to thrive, not just to survive. When we invest in youth, we invest in stronger communities, stronger economies, and a stronger world. I have to say that what I have seen and the young people that I have met in my career inspire me every single day. You know why? Because I was one of them once. And through hard work, but through experiences, through mentorship, I became the person that I am today. And today I ask every single one of you, reach out to that young person next to you. And if you're that youth that's coming up, stay put. The people that you see in this room or on this screen today are here for you. We have curated this list selectively because they're approachable, because they're here for people that don't want to waste time, but want to continue to thrive. So I would say fasten your seatbelts. What we're going to hear today is something very exciting. Together, let us build pathways to opportunity. Together, let us empower youth. Together, let us create a future where everyone has the skills they need to thrive. Welcome to World Youth Skills Day today. Thank you, every single one of you. It is now my privilege to introduce a visionary leader. We'll talk about him a little bit. He won't be here with us today, but definitely I want to have this moment recognize what he has done. His commitment to education, to innovation, and youth empowerment continues to inspire thousands around the world. As the founder of International Internship University and the founder of World Education Policy, he has dedicated his life to expanding access to learning, leadership, development, and global opportunities for everyone, no matter where you live and who you are. So thank you, Advocate Piyush Pandit, for everything you do every single day. And I have to tell you, I guarantee that what he's doing now is actually working towards a better future for all of us. So thank you again for being here. And now I would like to address, and I think Professor Charles is here. I think I saw her. Well, just so you know, a little secret, Professor Charles is the birthday boy today. So we would love to say happy birthday to Professor Charles, so I know that he will be here very, very soon. Without much more preamble, I would like to introduce to you our guest of honor today. This is Maha Shhadeh. Maha Shhadeh, the virtual podium is all yours. And let me explain a little bit about Maha. I see her, she's like, what now, Maha? Yeah, but I see you here now. So Maha is our executive director for Global Affairs International Relations in IIU and she is also the Chief Country Officer in Lebanon for World Education Policy. The virtual podium is all yours. Your mic.
I just noticed I am muted.
There you go. Okay.
Can you see my screen just before we am going to start?
Can you see your screen?
Thank you. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, distinguished guests, educators, leaders, and especially the young people joining us from around the world. It's a great honor to celebrate World Youth Skill Days 2026 with you. Today's themes, skills for a shared future. It is not only about preparing young people for employment, it is about preparing them to lead, contribute, and shape a future that belongs to all of us. But this raises an important question actually. Are we preparing just to follow the future or to shape it? Or to shape it? Too often, education teach young people to master today's tool, but the tool will change. Our real responsibility actually is to develop the confidence, judgment, and adaptability they will need to design tomorrow's solution. We shouldn't prepare young people merely to enter the future. We should prepare them actually to influence it. The greatest challenge facing young people is not technology itself, it is uncertainty. Artificial intelligence actually nowadays is transforming industries. Careers are changing, and some of the jobs young people will have in the future have not even been invented yet. They are expected to make important decisions in a world that is constantly shifting. We can't promise them a predictable future, actually, but we can at least prepare them to remain capable, confident, and purposeful when the future is going to be not predictable. The preparation actually begins with the three actions. We need to learn, which we can summarize like this: learn, unlearn, and relearn. Learn what they should learn. They should learn the essential foundations. They should unlearn ideas and methods that no longer are going to serve us. And they should unlearn as a new realities emerge. Unlearn ideas and methods that is not going to be essential in the future. The qualification may open the first door, but the curiosity actually and adaptability will make a future doors open. The most valuable learner is not the person who knows everything actually. It is the person who is always ready to grow. Yet, technical ability alone will never be enough for our next generation. It's when the world is increasingly shaped by machines or human strengths become even more valuable. Empathy, creativity, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, that's exactly what value. These are not secondary, these are not optional skills. They allow us to listen, to solve a problem, to bridge differences, to question assumptions and lead responsibly. Technology may change how we work, but sure, our humanity is going to determine why we work and whom our progress will serve. This is why we must choose wisdom over tools. Artificial intelligence and digital technology can expand access, improve learning, and create extraordinary opportunities. But power without responsibility can also spread misinformation, can also reinforce bias and deepen inequality. So that's why we must teach young people not only what technology can do, but what it should do. The futures need more than skilled technology users. It needs ethical thinkers who are going to understand that innovation shouldn't replace a humanity, it should improve a human life. I just want to conclude saying that responsibility doesn't belong to young people alone. Governments, school, university, business, and international organization must create an inclusive pathway from education to distant work because talent is everywhere, but opportunity is not. A young person's future should never be limited by geography, by poverty, gender, disability, conflict, or lack of digital access. We must stop asking only whether young people are ready for the future, and we need to start asking, are our institutions actually ready to recognize, support, and trust them? To every young person listening here today, you don't need to have your entire future plan. Begin with one skill, one question, and one courageous step. Learn technology, but to protect your own value. Prepare for employment, but also prepare to create, to lead, and serve. The future doesn't belong only to those who master tools. It belongs to those who combine skills with humanity, courage and responsibility, and ambition with purpose. Young people are not merely preparing for the future, actually, they are creating it. Thank you. Thank you. I think Miss Virginia lost her connection. Yes, Virginia? Okay. Miss Virginia is having a technical issues here. I was about to introduce Mr. Charles. Yes, Virginia.
Okay, can you see me? Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah, we lost connection there. Thank you so much, Maha. There's something that you said that really resonates with me, and it's not the easiest thing. It's how to unlearn, right? And I think that many times we concentrate on what we're learning, but it's so difficult for us to unlearn.
Exactly.
And these are things that we learned from early on, and it takes a skill, a skill set also to unlearn what we've learned from our parents, what we've learned from our teachers, and definitely unlearning to absorb new things. And I see that our Professor Charles is here. So welcome, Professor Charles. We just wanted to say happy birthday to you. I hope that you're having a great day today. And I think he left and he's not seeing me. So we will continue then. Professor Charles? Okay, so we'll give him some leeway because he is the birthday boy today. Hello, Professor Charles. Can you hear us? So I am going to introduce you now, Professor. We hear Professor Charles correctly. Can you hear Professor Charles? All right, okay. Professor, step out and come back in because I don't think we can hear you well.
So it breaks up as he speaks, Dr. Virginia. It's very scanty on our side.
Thank you. Thank you. So Professor, if you want to step out and just come back in, okay, so now, and thank you everyone. Professor Charles will be right back. But we'll continue then with the program, and I would like to introduce to you another one of our guests of honor. Dr. Ona Miller is a respected leader whose work continues to inspire meaningful conversations about education, leadership, and human development. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Ona Miller. Dr. Ona Miller, the virtual podium is all yours.
Good morning and good evening and good afternoon to some. It is wonderful pleasure to be here celebrating World Youth Skills Day for 2026. And I believe that building bridges between generations is a way for us to prepare youth, build institutions, and not just careers. Um, so thank you to the International Internship University and World Education Policy for this invitation and just giving a platform for all of us to celebrate. Um, Today's theme reminds us that our future will not be determined simply by what young people know. It will be determined by what they are prepared to build. As someone who has spent years working in leadership, development, and institutional education, I have come to believe one truth. Every generation inherits the world, but only intentional generations will improve it. Our responsibility is not simply to transfer information, it is to transfer wisdom, not simply to teach careers, but to cultivate character. Not simply to prepare employees, but to develop ethical leaders who will build institutions that outlive them. Today's youth are entering a world filled with artificial intelligence, as many of us have known and experienced, rapid technology change, economic uncertainty, and global challenges unlike any previous generation has experienced. Yet there is something very different, and every generation still needs the technology, and it can never be replaced. One of the things that can't be replaced is integrity, compassion, critical thinking, and most importantly, courage. These are skills no machine can manufacture. They are developed through mentorship, service, leadership, and meaningful relationships between generations. That is why I believe our greatest educational investment is not only digital skills, but it is generational partnerships where each generation reaches out to the other and teaches each other what we know, that experience, that wisdom, the innovation. Older generations are the ones that carry the experience, and the younger generations carry innovation. When wisdom and innovation work together, societies flourish. When they become disconnected, institutions are weakened. This is especially true for our young women around the world. Girls continue to overcome barriers to education, leadership, and opportunity. When we educate a young woman, we do not simply change one life, we strengthen families, communities, institutions, and ultimately nations. That is why I have dedicated my life's work to developing women who lead institutions with excellence, ethics, and sustainability. Leadership is not about holding a title. Leadership is about creating systems that continue serving people long after we are gone. So today, I challenge every young person listening to us, don't simply ask, what job do I want? Ask, what problem was I created to solve? Don't simply prepare your first paycheck. Prepare to leave your first legacy. Develop skills that create opportunity. Develop character that earns trust. Develop leadership that inspires others. Build institutions that future generations will be proud to inherit. Because the greatest inheritance that we can leave our children is not wealth. It is a world with stronger institutions than the ones that we have inherited. As we celebrate World Youth Skills Day, let us commit ourselves to becoming bridges between generations. And let us not be walls. May we pass on knowledge, share wisdom, open doors, and empower the next generation to build a more peaceful, inclusive, and sustainable world. Thank you for allowing me to share this moment with you. And may we continue to build, a future worthy of generations yet to come. And I want to leave you with a closing quote. The greatest skill we can teach the generations is not simply how to make a living. Thank you.
You know, thank you so much, Dr. Ona Miller. Everything that you said was extremely inspirational, but there's something that really resonated with me, and I think I tell to all young people, prepare to leave a legacy. You know, usually we're so concentrated on the job right now and, you know, people liking me and we're thinking of so many things, but we don't take we don't take ownership of whatever it is that we're doing because they're not thinking of preparing to leave a legacy. You can be 25 and leave a legacy. You can leave, look at Malala, you know, you could be 17 and leave a legacy. You know, so definitely thank you for that. And generational partnerships thrive when soft skills lead the way. So you're so absolutely right. I think a lot of people today would think that AI and technology would be the skills that our young people need to prepare more for and hone in on. But the truth is that soft skill is what keeps us human. It turns differences into strengths and shared knowledge into collective impact. So I truly believe with you that soft skills, those important skills that are innate to humans, not to machines, are important. Thank you so much, Dr. Ona Miller, for being here with us today. I know you are traveling, so have safe travels. Our next guest today is not a guest, but she's our guest of honor. And this is Her Excellency Ambassador Dr. Maureen Mia. I met Dr. Maureen 3 years ago when I first joined our organizations here in Pews Group. She was one of the people that embraced me. She was one of the people that supported me. And I have to say that every single day that I have an opportunity to listen to her speak is inspirational for me. So let's welcome Ambassador Dr. Maureen Mia, President. She's the President for the Women's Entrepreneurs Council, and she's also the Chief Country Officer for WEP in South Africa. Welcome, Dr. Maureen.
Thank you so much, Dr. Virginia. Always love being with you as well. I greet you all in the universal greeting of peace with blessings. Thank you to every speaker who's here today. I know we're all going to learn so much about what everyone has to say. Before I continue, let me just say to Professor Charles, happy birthday, sir. We celebrate you today as we do every day. Thank you for all that you do. We appreciate you a lot. Yep. Today we're talking something very passionate to my heart. It's really something very important, I think, all around. And it's about youth, it's about skills, and we are not just talking about jobs. We are talking about the future, and we all have to live in that specific future. So when we look at it from that way, the theme, skills for a shared future, for me, and Dr. Virginia would know this, I'm very into the language. I'm very into that word shared. That word shared changes everything. And why? Because the challenges ahead of us don't belong to just one country, one generation, or one classroom. The challenges are everywhere about everything. There's climate change, there's AI, there's food security, there's inequality. These are all shared problems, which also means then that the solutions have to come from shared skills. And that's where today becomes important, because these youth of today are leaders already. They're preparing to lead us tomorrow. And if they have to lead us tomorrow, what skills do they need? So here's the thing. Firstly, technical skills, yes, of course. But it's not just about having technical skills. It's about having technical skills with a specific purpose attached to it. That makes the difference. Because yes, we need the coders, we need electricians, we need nurses, welders, we need data analysts, we need everybody. But more than anything, we need our young people who can use all those skills to solve problems. So a young person here in South Africa could learn solar installation, for example. But they're not just building a specific job or fulfilling a job. They're actually building. They're building energy access for their community. A young person may learn AI. They're not just going to be learning a tool. They're learning how to use that responsibly so it serves people. So the purpose behind their technical skill is what must be the drive for our youth. Another important factor for me is the green and digital skill, because here the future of work is hybrid, okay? It is digital and it is sustainable. If our youth can repair a smartphone, for example, and yet also know how to deal with water conservation, can you believe that empowerment skill that pulls them together? If they can market a product online and also grow food locally, then they're not just preparing them for a market. We're actually learning how to prepare our youth to protect this planet for our future because they're leading us then. The other thing I want to leave you with is the most important for me, the skill of humanity, the skill of the human factor, human skill. And this is the part of the skill that no machine can copy. Critical thinking, communication, collaboration, resilience, empathy, and everybody who knows me knows I'm all about holistic wellness. All of these things don't come with anything other than a human skill. Because when we talk about the shared problems, the shared solutions, we talk about the shared future, the most valuable skill for our youth is going to be that ability that's going to help them work with people who are different from them. Not their same kind of people, different people, with respect, with learning how to grow together, not the divide. We have plenty of division right now. We need our youth to grow to be a one in humanity. So they need to learn to listen across cultures, across languages, across ideas, and know that they can agree to disagree without the difficulty. They can have that skill, and that skill allows for every other skill, in my opinion, to grow even better. So to these young people, I think we all as lecturers, as parents, as even the industry leaders that we have, our job is to actually fill these young people's minds with information, because information is everywhere. But our job together with that is also to show them their capability with the information. So giving them the info is one thing. Guiding them to use that information to build themselves is another. That's where our skills match their skills for that shared future. So to give the youth that confidence to learn, like we said, the learn, the unlearn and relearn, that's going to be throughout. I mean, some of us as adults have had to learn that specific notion the hard way, late in life. We need to keep them abreast now because their careers will have, they're going to have in 2030, might not exist with what we have right now. So to all of the young people, your skills are not just for your CV. I say this to every one of them. Your skills are not just CV orientated. They are your contribution to the world that you are building, that you are going to lead in. So learn a skill. Learn the skill that's going to work with you. And then teach a skill. Yes, you as youth can still teach a skill. Teach a skill. Use that skill to uplift someone else and you build your humaneness inside you. We need that in this world. Because like in today's theme, is a shared future. The shared future is not going to build by itself. The shared future is going to build by skilled hands, skilled minds, skilled human beings, skilled hearts, each one of us working together, growing together. And that's what we do, even with IIU, right? Platforms like this make us know, learn. And when we commit to these platforms, we need to also commit that once we leave this platform, we're going to take what we learn and we're going to take it to our youth. Take it to your communities, your societies, your religious spaces. Take it to uplift those youth and make the differences there. So it's not just about talking, it's about action. It's about taking that skill to make it work. So we don't want to leave anyone behind, and I don't want to take about more time, but thank you so much for having me. And for me, it's just about everything to do with our people is about rising. And when one young person is going to rise with the right skill, I just know every one of us will rise with them. Thank you so much for having me again. And again, Professor Charles, happy birthday to you. Thanks, Dr. Virginia. Lovely being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm still waiting for Professor Charles to come back so we can actually listen to him properly, but we'll continue on until he returns. Thank you so much, Dr. Maureen. And you said something so beautiful, a skilled heart, right? And I think that we talk about so many skills, but it's really us putting ourselves in that situation to learn, but most importantly, to share. And definitely the future of work is hybrid, but the future of leadership is deeply human, will always be human. And as leaders, we'll continue to lead everywhere we go. Because technology may accelerate work, but human skills gives it meaning, purpose, and direction. And this is something definitely that we can pass on to the future generations. Thank you so much, Dr. Maureen. Our next guest of honor is a dynamic mentor. She's a youth coach and a motivational speaker committed to helping young people discover their purpose and their fullest potential. Let's welcome Sasha Kaluri, all the way from Australia. Sasha, the virtual podium is all yours.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for having me one more time. I really, really appreciate it. I've been working with young people for the past 27 years, and I've run a variety of different programs with young people. I wanted to tell you about a specific two programs that I've run for young people that's quite innovative, and it's something that you guys can all take away with you and potentially use. So I work with a lot of at-risk young people. So this would mean young people that have committed crimes, not found their place, they're not engaged in school, they're not working well with authorities. And so this is about how to make sure that we get them back into school and working well with young people, with back in society. So what I did was I found that I was working with a group of boys, and this particular group of boys had an interest in mechanics. So what I did was I started working with one of our institutions that teaches young people to do mechanic work. And I knew that these boys weren't ready to actually go to school and do that. So I connected with the Ford Motor Company, and I connected with the Holden Motor Company, and both of those companies gave me a complete V8 engine, which is like this. It was a big, massive engine. They gave me this V8 engine, and that had never been in a car. And what I did was I got 10 boys, and then each week I would and we actually, because these boys, they didn't have any transport or anything like that. So what I did was we would get a bus and a bus driver, like a minivan, and we'd get the students, we'd pick them up from school, and that was the only way that we could guarantee that they would actually turn up. We'd pick them up, then we'd take them over to the TAFE and they would donate the space. And then over the course of 10 weeks for 2 hours every week, they would pull apart the engine, and we'd have two groups. One would be pulling apart a Ford V8 engine. Now, I'm not sure if anyone knows this, but when you're doing an apprenticeship in motor vehicles, it's very rare. You don't get to work with a V8 engine until later on in your apprenticeship. So they were very lucky to be doing this. And they pulled apart the engine and they put it back together. And so you'd have one group working with Ford, one group working with Holden, and they were able to see the difference in the V8 engines. I also connected with the police system here, and then the police system would actually I worked really hard to get somebody that was really, really good and connected, and they would come along. We'd get a new police officer that would come along every week that would get a part of this and work with them. And that's how we built up a mentoring system between the police, building good relationships with the boys, and also the mechanics that were working on that. And we would run that every single term, and we would run 4 groups of 10 per year. So we run that for a total of 13 years. And the number of kids that have come off the streets and now gone into mechanics is like unprecedented. And they've gone through this and they've connected with police. And some of them have even not necessarily gone into police work, but they've actually gone into youth work. So they've done that. Then from there, what I did was one of the parts of the program, we would give them overalls and boots so that they would have their own safety equipment. This was all about making sure that we connected with them, and we raised the funds for them to be able to do that. And then, which was very different because it was all in-kind support. So it wasn't like we were getting anything from anybody, that we were always getting everything donated, which was very difficult because the program ran on barely any money. So then what would happen, we'd also, each week I would feed the kids. So when they would get there, they would make sure that there was a simple meal for them, maybe a burger, a drink, something like that. And then what would happen is I had one young student that was very, very close to going to a juvenile detention centre. But he was loving food, and he was always talking to me, and he was saying, I want to cook this and I want to learn to cook that. And I love to cook. So we would have these great discussions. And then what I did was I said to him, what if I took this model and I did the same model, but instead of doing it with cars, I actually did it with food. And so what we did was there was a local cafe that was part of a library. It was a council library, and that cafe would shut at 4 o'clock. I then turned that cafe in. We had a chef that would work with us at night time, and we would teach the kids basic coffee skills, how to use a coffee machine, how to do wraps, sandwiches, make pastas, basic foods that you would get in a coffee shop. and we would run that as well and get these young people. And from there, we've had young people go into the hospitality industry and also get into the youth industry. So all this again, and again, it was working with the police system as well. They would be our guest speakers. They would come in, they would connect with them, and they would talk to the young people, and they would also talk about like the crimes that they'd committed, and the things that they would do, and then also making sure that we were keeping them connected. Our aim was to keep them connected at school, so that they didn't leave school, they didn't just go off and get a job. We wanted to get them so that they had some value. And then we had these young people, it was very difficult for them to, they were not attending schools. But the most incredible part about this was that they would attend school the day that my program was on, and that so that they knew I would pick them up from school. And then the next thing is we had 100% attendance every week from these programs. So it was hard to get them at school, but once we did this, and it was the formula of the program. So you could almost recreate it in any industry that you felt like you could do that. So I did that same formula and I recruited these people from police, schools, juvenile detention centres, councils, anywhere that they said that there was troubled youth, they would just send them to me and we would run these programs. And so I'd say to them, what are their interests? And also there was a lot of girls in it as well, so it wasn't just with boys.
Wonderful. Thank you. Let's see. Thank you so much. And something that I really love about your contribution in every one of our events is that you speak about real life cases, right? And you tell us what you're doing. And I have to say that, hands-on experience and apprenticeship remain amongst the most powerful pathways to learn anything. So I love that you bring that to us, because education teaches what is possible, but experience teaches us how to make it happen. And this is those moments with you always bring us how these young people incorporate what they're learning into their lives and how they become stronger at it. So thank you so much, Sasha. I know it's very late in Australia. It's probably like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. So I really appreciate for you to be here with us today. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Now I have the privilege to really present to you somebody that is very special to our organization. He's a global delegate leader since 2024 for Global Festival. And he's also he's an educator, a retired military soldier, and a United Nations Peace Ambassador. So imagine this human with all these things, the spectrum from one thing to the other. Please help me welcome Dr. Freddie Lee. Dr. Freddie, the virtual podium is all yours.
Oh, thank you, and good morning. I'm deeply honored by that introduction. I have had 3 careers, and when a year and a half ago, when I decided to retire, I must have lost my mind because I started a business. So there you go. So good morning to everybody, especially to the youth. The one thing that I've noticed today is that there's a common theme with all the speakers. Now, I was very impressed by Maha and her presentation. First and foremost, because she stole all of my thunder, because everything she said, I was going to say in my speech. So I'm having to regroup, and since my guardrail isn't with us today, Dr. Teresa, I might go off script for a little bit.
I'll keep you in line.
I also like to wish Professor Charles a happy birthday, and may he be blessed with many more trips around the sun. Professor Ona, very passionate and articulate, and I like that. And I hope I can be as passionate and as articulate. We'll see. I want to start off by saying that I have a granddaughter who's 15 years old, who will be 16 years old. And I asked her, you're taking driver's education this summer. She said, yeah, but I don't really think I want to. I want to be a passenger princess. Now, I've never heard that before. A passenger princess. What the heck is a passenger princess? She says, well, I just want somebody to drive me around. And I'm like, oh man, I never heard of that. But there's something good about somebody driving you around. But she's a pretty smart girl. In fact, she scored 190 on her recent IQ test. Was invited to the Mensa, and so I would expect something like that to come out of her mouth. But that just goes to show you how bright and how imaginative that our youth are today. So today we gather under this theme that resonates with the IIU mission, and certainly with some of the things that I've done in my past in working with youth, and that's skills for a shared future. So let's just imagine in this virtual space that we're on that we're talking to maybe thousands of youth from around the globe, from 250 countries. What do you see? I tell you what I see. I see potential. I see the architects of tomorrow's world. I see the future. And I see dreams. But here's the truth. Potential alone is not enough. Dreams without skills remain just that, dreams. So the United Nations declared that July 15th would be World Youth Skills Day to celebrate the strategic importance of equipping our young people with skills for employment, for decent work and entrepreneurship. And today, more than ever, that mission is extremely important. It strongly matters because we're living in a moment of unprecedented change. Here in the US, it's just absolutely wow from day to day with some of the changes that we're having to deal with. The world of work is transforming right beneath our feet. The technologies that seemed like they were science fiction years ago, we're actually living them today. Climate change, there's challenges with the climate, there's new and greener solutions. So the real question facing our generation or your generation, youth, our youth generation, is not whether or not you can keep up. The real question is, will you step up? You must step up to lead. Let's take a little bit closer look at that. Traditional careers are shifting. Automation and artificial intelligence are taking over routine tasks. Don't look at that as a threat. Look at it as an invitation. Technology can replace repetitive labor, but it can never, ever replace human ingenuity. And I tell you, it drives me absolutely nuts. I have probably a dozen personal stories where I see the benefits of technology, but because of not having that person in the loop, it has made my life extremely frustrating at times. So let's take a closer look at what the future demands. Traditional careers are shifting. Automation and AI are taking over routine tasks. So what are we going to do? What we need is the human ingenuity, the human in the loop, because technology can never replace that unique passion, that empathy, that character, the human capacity for creative problem solving, imagination. I don't think AI can replace that. It remembers a lot of stuff, but it doesn't have that human touch. So preparing for the future requires technical capabilities, but it also requires a shift in the mindset. You must become lifelong learners. The skills you matter today will need upgrading tomorrow. Embrace that reality. The most critical skill you can develop right now, which has already been said, is the ability to unlearn, learn, and relearn. Man, that unlearning part is a challenge, especially for somebody as old as me. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, but I'm trying. You are not just preparing for existing jobs, you are equipping yourselves to invent the new industries of tomorrow. So, in order to build a shared future, we young person, regardless of where they are, where they're located, where they're from, who they are, their creed, culture, race. It means making sure that they have access to quality technical training, coding, data analysis, sustainable green skills. One of the projects that I work with the UN with in support of SDG for providing quality education to everyone. When I say everyone, yes, our goal is to ensure that at least 250 countries in this world has quality education, access to that sort of training. Secondly, we must build pathways to decent work. Education without opportunity is a broken promise. We need institutional pipelines like those championed by IEIU and the World Education Policy that connect classrooms directly to internships, meaningful mentorships, and sustainable careers. And then thirdly, we got to create a more inclusive, sustainable world. Man, that's a big challenge. It's a big challenge locally. Just think about trying to do it globally. Skills should not be a luxury for the privileged few. We live in a world of have versus have-nots, and there seems to be a whole lot more have-nots than haves. But the true progress only happens when the most marginalized folks, the most marginalized young voices are given the tools to succeed. That's what a shared future is. It means leaving no one behind. While technical skills open doors, your character and human-centric skills will keep you in the room. And in an increasingly digital world, the demand for high emotional intelligence is skyrocketing. There will always be the need for that person in the loop. The road ahead will have economic and social disruptions, challenges, but the ability to bounce back from failure will define how successful you can be. The massive challenges of our era, like climate change and economic inequality, cannot be solved in isolation. You got to collaborate. I'm a firm believer in building relationships, and in my free career is one of the one thing that made me successful, and I think I was successful in all three, is that I built a lot of relationships. Man, I as a military guy, I started building relationships early. I left the military, went into education for a while, and went back into defense contracting. And I actually, as a defense contractor, I got to work with folks that I worked with when I was actually in the military. And those relationships were still solid, still good relationships. And I asked folks to do some pretty tough things. And most times the reply I got was, no problem, we can make it happen. So collaboration, building relationships, very important. True leadership is about service. My mother raised me to be a service sort of person. I consider myself a service leader. It's not always about yourself. Sometimes you got to reach out and lift others up. If you're preparing yourself for your next life, then you gotta make sure you do that in this life. You got to use your skills to lift up others and solve real world problems in your communities, because skills aren't just about getting a job. They're about building a life. They're about contributing to communities. They're about creating a world where we all want to live in. So, as I conclude, my final message is directly to the youth that are listening today. Do not wait for permission to lead. Get out there. Do not wait for the perfect moment or the perfect resume. The world needs your energy, your impatience with the status quo, and your bold visions, your imagination right now. Be curious, be courageous, and be relentless. The world doesn't need more people who simply want to adapt to change. It needs people who want to lead the change. People who shape the future, and that future starts with you. So let us stand together to turn potential into progress and dreams into reality. Thank you, and let us build our future, our shared future today. Happy World Skills Day. I am His Excellency Dr. Freddie A. Lee. Peace, love, and blessings to you all. And again, Professor Charles, happy birthday. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Freddie. I love to hear you speak. You said so many things, but there's something that I want to keep as an important nugget of everything that you said. Step up. Step up. I think that many times we tell them what to do, we encourage them to do, but we don't really tell them step up. And if you make a mistake, it's okay. Many times our youth, they're so afraid of failing that they don't step up, they don't take ownership, they don't become the leaders that we know they are, because potential is the starting point. Skills are definitely the pathway, but impact is the result. And the only way you can do that is if you step up. So thank you so much, Dr. Freddie, for being with us. Thank you for being the first one. I love it when you're always on time. Thank you, thank you. And please say hello to Dr. Teresa. See you soon.
Thank you for having me. I
Very
appreciate
soon. Next year, we see you early 2027. We'll be seeing you again.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Professor Charles, are you there? Is he frozen or is he? Yeah. Okay. When we actually see Professor Charles, I would love for him to finish his speech today, but I think he's having some technical issues. So I will go ahead and move on with Her Excellency Ambassador Dr. Shravidya Sukumar. Her CV is very big. I'm just going to tell you a few things. She's an educationist, governance strategist. She's a career guidance counselor. She's a life and student coach. But most importantly, she is also our IIU country director for the United Arab Emirates. And also she is the chief country officer for World Education Policy. So thank you, Dr. Shravidya, for being here. The virtual podium is all yours.
Thank you, Dr. Rajini. Thanks for the great opportunity. First and foremost, I wish you all World Youth Skills Day, each and every one of you, so that we feel fresh and youthful, how much ever we grow in age, but still we feel so young and youthful at heart. So that's what is very important. Now, what happens when you do that? You're always open to change. You really want to explore what's that, what's this. So the exploration really fades down, unfortunately, with age, definitely. To avoid that, let's keep on celebrating this World Youth Skills Day. As I always say, celebrate every single moment of yours as we are celebrating on this virtual diet. Why? To evolve ourselves, community, and parents, so that we are able to take it forward to the parent that we belong to. So, right. Coming to World Youth Skills Day, that is commemorated usually by 15th of July every year, with the global awareness and importance of educating young people with technical, vocational and soft skills for employment, decent work, and entrepreneurship. So, on that note, there are two things which I really want to highlight. What's the highlight is? What is the purpose of this day? To highlight the importance of skill development. And there is a theme behind this Youth Skills Day, that is skills for a shared future. I mean, Dr. Mia has already mentioned about shared being with a shared responsibility. Yes, definitely, this is a theme. That is skills for the shared future is the commitment of empowering youth with future-ready skills in technology, digital innovation, artificial intelligence, green development, leadership, and community living, as our previous speakers have mentioned before. So, why is this very important? Because the main thing that we need to understand is the world is evolving. What we saw yesterday doesn't remain the same today. So, we need to keep on changing. And that's, as Dr. Shhadeh was mentioning, creating lifelong learning opportunities for all. That should be the prime motto of our living, such that we forget the phrase that we are preparing for the future. Future is no more. Future is not that something which is going to come far and beyond. It is that exactly today and tomorrow is the future. Because the world is running so fast, so many changes have taken place. People say that it's no more 24 hours, it has reduced. So with all these evolution which has happened intentionally, unintentionally, and also without noticing, people noticing it, so we should be prepared for this thing. So what is required is that to advocate skill-based education, targeting digital literacy, leadership, technical training, and to combat the rising and unprecedented unemployment which is happening, prevailing throughout the world. So how could we do that? By integrating corporate social responsibility, that's in other words, it is called as CSR, into the operations, focusing on the environmental sustainability, thereby we are sustainable and with ethical transparency without forgetting our values. So this is what the future leaders are to be focused on or to keep in mind. So before going ahead, please allow me to share my screen. I've got a presentation made exactly what this day is all about. So if it's visible, if I'm going to take a little longer, Dr. Virginia will come back to me definitely on this. But I know that she can understand how passionate each and every one of us today gathered on this platform. So she will definitely allow me, I think so. So thank you. So this World Youth Skills Day is celebrated every year on 15 July to highlight the importance of skill development for young people. And it promotes vocational training, practical education, career skills to help youth find jobs, succeed in the workplace for a decent work, and build a better future. So, moving ahead, skills for a shared future. In that case, what should be done? This question was raised by Dr. Shhadeh himself on this platform. So, what should be done? That's what we are going to focus on. Navigating the global shift from theoretical degrees to dynamic employability, such that the youth are assured of a future for them from the present. They are able to relate the past, live in the present, treat it as a present, treat present as a gift, as a present from God himself, and prepare them for the future that is not very distant. So a degree grants a qualification, it starts from here, but a skill secures a job for them. So on this World Youth Skills Day, let's commit to equipping young people with competencies of changing the world required so that they can help build a better tomorrow for all. This was told by your Secretary himself. So moving ahead, what are the different applications that we need to consider when we are going to think about this change that we are bringing? That is, change is not something which is going to happen and we are going to watch. It's always said that be the change that you wish to see in the society. So being the change, what we need to do is definitely AI automation is the base thing. Thinking through repetitive tasks while creating high demand human AI collaborative links. So this is a challenge. So if that's the case, with 78 million additional youth joining the global population by 2030, what is being done, the scaled immediate job creation. So that has escalated the whole thing. So are we bridging this gap, the green transition with demographic surges? So the one more threat that we need to consider is that the green transition insists which cannot be compromised, that is a climatic change initiative driving an urgent widespread need for green skills in the modern infrastructure and renewable energy with economic volatility and with the rapid macroeconomic shift demanding continuous workforce upskilling and agility over static lifelong careers. Sorry, I was disturbed by a phone call. Sorry about that. So the traditional degrees was time to market with 3 to 4 years, definitely with a high cost, potential long-term debt. Curriculum agility, slow to update, historically rigid structures, employer demand, broad theoretical foundation. If this is a situation, not if this is a situation, this is actual situation which is going on. What we need to move is the modern pivot and skilling. Time to market could be just 6 months, 2 years to 2 years. Any crash course where the financial burden becomes low cost, heavily subsidized with government fees, with ITA fees, etc. The curriculum agility industry aligned. So we are bridging the gap. We need to bridge the gap between academia and the corporate world. Industry aligned, updated in real time with the employer demand with immediate practical application and job readiness so that they are not going to be either job seekers, they're going to be job givers, or otherwise they are job seekers, they are immediately into the world of working. That is the work 4.0 or the workforce which is required. So the 2026 taxonomy from skills to shared future, it starts with the agile youth. This is what is required. So what it say is that the ring one is digital and AI fluency, which you cannot compromise on with prompt engineering, data annotation, cybersecurity, and human AI collaboration. With ring two, it is technical and vocational education that is pivot, that is industry-oriented 4.0 into the manufacturing, smart infrastructure, etc., renewable energy installation, anything that we can think about that is to your DNA. That is ring three is the human and socio-economic, social-emotional competencies, anything related to government, policy-driven, or any changes that you really want to bring, even politics, even into the government that you can think about and you can start working on. So in that case, the AI reality with 40% of the employers in manufacturing and finance side state shortages as a primary barrier to ADA adoption. So in that case, the threat is the routine automation. So AI is aggressively automating routine, repetitive tasks, heavily impacting educated youth seeking entry-level, high-skill occupations in high-income nations. But the opportunity is hybrid roles. Thanks to Dr. Virginia, who has mentioned it before, the future belongs to those technical traits of digital fluency, as a plumber equipped with a smart water metering knowledge, or an electrician trained with AI-optimized solar grid installation is what is required for the future. Or we are talking about the future space or the green space. So if you're going to visualize through corporate lens, aligning scenes are with Gen Z demands. The company requires talent driven by purpose, whereas the youth expect clear vision beyond corporate rhetoric. The company needs diverse sustainability mind workforces, whereas the youth demand measurable, eco-friendly, and inclusive practices, where the company benefits from the strong local roots in the community trust. The prioritizing investment is immediate environmental observation, looking for people to trust in them, to invest in them, and to invest in those skills. Where the company gain employee loyalty and sustain high performance, whereas the seek youth, what they require is to seek genuine work-life balance and personal development so that they can keep on creating lifelong opportunities for all and they can keep the work-life balance through and through. So if we are going to do that, how could we approach it or how could we analysis is that with the Trojan horse, using physical engagement and sports to capture attention and build community, soft skills for fostering transferable socio-economic competencies such as leadership, teamwork, and time management, with hard skills and employability seemingly funneling youth to IT training, CV training, and entrepreneurship programs, etc. With the case studies, some of the things that we can take from sports to skills pipeline, that's exactly in trying to give office from rugby, Rwanda, pitch to office, and the generation of sports with Tunisia. And currently, we cannot miss the World Cup, the current FIFA World Cup, which is going on. So that youth can think about those things in visualizing how to monetize the present day of living to not waiting for the future to come. So in that case, relating to the Indian skill ecosystem, the national umbrella of Skill India program, SIP, or the next generation focus, or state level Telangana focus, state level Andhra Pradesh keeping in focus. All these are examples that they can think about, they can take instances, and they can join these groups and immediately get into the action force. They do not wait for the opportunity to come and knock at the door. These are the opportunities that they can take up and start working. Whether it is for classroom execution, for the executors, what we need to think about is the mentoring, creating volunteering opportunities for students, commemorating or patronizing student-led seminars that they work with collaboratively for problem solving, gamification, and model UN systems, etc. So that their voices need not be, they need not wait for the voices to be heard sometime later. They can start working it from today, this moment. So that's how we are here. And I will conclude before with one solid proof, which I really want to dedicate for the youth skills on this day especially. So the shared blueprint of global skilling is the integrated circuit. Start working with the governments. Governments are no more those constitutional framework that we were thinking as before. Start working with the governments and work in collaborating with the educators so that they become your mentors as that they help you. Start working with, start collaborating with the corporate so that you can bridge the gap between the academic and the corporate, and start working with the NGO so that create more and more opportunities for you. So the world belongs to those who never stop learning and never stop believing. Whether you are a government or you are a company redefining its CSR, or you are an NGO replacing a sports pitch, or the teacher for a gamification lesson, investing in youth skill is the ultimate architecture for a shared future. So with that, we have come to the end of the session.
So much, Ambassador, Her Excellency Dr. Shravidya Sukumar, who I have to say is a huge pillar here in IIU. And I'm always so grateful that you take such time to create powerful presentations that explain everything. Actually, I didn't have to worry today. I knew that you would explain exactly what World Skills Day is today. But I wanted to say some things that I captured from your entire presentation. Number one, we must create the pathways for skill developments, apprenticeships, internships, and lifelong learning that prepare people not just for today's jobs, but for tomorrow's opportunities. And number two, the compass, it points to everything, and that is skills. So those who learn, adapt, and lead will help shape a more sustainable, innovative, and inclusive world. I totally agree with everything that you said, and I'm really, really glad that we were able to see the entire presentation because I think it sums up what we've said up to this point. And you do it so eloquently. So thank you again for taking the time, for creating such a great presentation, and for always saying yes whenever we need you here in IIU and Rural Education Policy. Thank you so much. So now we move on to our next speaker. She is the CEO and founder of Unbreakable Women. She's an international speaker, but one of the things that I love the most that she does have is that she is the chancellor for the International Human Rights Institute. So please help me welcome to the virtual podium, Ambassador Jeanette Mata.
Global platform for education leaders.
How are you, everyone? I'm so glad to be here with all of you, and especially to all the youth around the world that are listening to us, that have taken the time to join us today, because this conversation is about you and for you. We are all here gathering together to put our thoughts and our skills together, but for you, with you in mind. I want to bring something, if I may, here. Let me share the screen real quick. Okay. Can you see it? Can you see it? Okay, perfect. So good
Yes, we
morning,
can.
good morning, everyone. It is truly a privilege to join you from the United States that we celebrate World Youth Skills Day. Although we may be connected virtually today, our shared commitment to empowering you young people connects us across every border, culture, and continent. So today I would like to invite you to think beyond technical skills. The future isn't only asking what we know, it is asking who we choose to become. Every generation inherits the world, but this generation has something unique. We are growing up in a time of extraordinary change. The future is not waiting for us to be ready. It is already here. Our responsibility is to prepare ourselves, not only with knowledge, but with character, resilience, and purpose. We often hear that the world needs more talent, but I believe that the world already. Okay. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So we often hear that the world needs more talent. I believe the world is already full of talented people. What we truly need are leaders with integrity, compassion. There's someone.
One second. One second. Please, can everybody mute right now their microphones? Let's wait because
I will have 1,000. I don't know when this is going to
It's calling from Professor Charles. I'm not sure whether he knows that he's actually on.
Okay. I just want to make sure you hear me. Okay.
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay. So what we truly need are leaders with integrity, compassion, empathy, and the courage to do what is right. Those are the qualities that transform societies and leave a lasting legacy. Education prepares us for employment. Character prepares us for leadership. Critical thinking, emotional intelligence, ethical decision-making, communication, and respect for others are the skills that build not only successful careers, but stronger communities and stronger nations. Artificial intelligence is changing the world at an incredible speed, but no machine will ever replace kindness. No algorithm will ever replace compassion. No technology will ever replace the human ability to inspire hope. Technology should always amplify our humanity, but not replace it. When we talk about future skills, we should also talk about human rights. Learning to respect diversity, communicate across cultures, resolve conflict peacefully, and defend human dignity are not optional skills. These are leadership skills. The leaders of tomorrow must first learn how to value humanity today. Excuse me. I believe education has a higher purpose. It should prepare young people not only to earn a living, but to solve problems, build peace, strengthen communities, and become responsible global citizens. Degrees open doors, but character changes lives. The challenges we face, poverty, inequality, conflict, climate change, cannot be solved by one nation alone. The future belongs to people who understand that collaboration is stronger than competition, that service is greater than status, and that together we can accomplish what none of us can achieve alone. To every young person listening today, never believe your voice is too small. Never believe your dreams are too big. Your background does not determine your future. Your choices do. Lead with courage, lead with kindness, and lead with purpose. Because the world is waiting for the leader only you can become. So I would like to leave you with one final thought. The greatest investment humanity will ever make is not in technology, is in its people. Skills create opportunity, character creates legacy, and purpose changes the world. So to every young person listening today, remember this. Your future is not determined by where you begin, but by the values you choose to live by and the courage you have to keep moving forward. The world doesn't simply need skilled professionals. It needs compassionate leaders. So thank you all for allowing me to share this moment with you. May you continue building a future that inspires generations to come. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette Mata. Thank you, Ambassador Jeanette Mata. The skills that we spoke about right now with you, those are the skills for any future. No matter how advanced AI becomes, no matter how workplaces change, every young person should develop what you just discussed: leadership, communication, conflict resolution, cultural understanding, collaboration, service, responsibility, respect for human dignity. These are more than soft skills, they're actually human skills. They enable people to build trust, lead diverse teams, solve complex problems, strengthen communities, and create meaningful change. So thank you for putting them down in one slide so we could see it all, because I think that again and again throughout this entire day, we're listening to the same thing. Technology is great and we're going to need it. It's going to help us advance, but it's really what's going to keep our human race continuing are these skills. So thank you again. Thank you, Dr. Martha. So now, one of our gratitude messages can always be is really investing in our young leaders. Our first youth leadership spotlight features a remarkable young woman already making an impact. Please welcome Ambassador Azra Mia. She's the face of South Africa High Schools 2026-2027, and she's also part of our Youth Council. Welcome, Azra. The virtual podium is all yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Virginia. I greet you all in the universal greetings of peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm coming to you all from a very cold South Africa at the moment, but it's okay. I'm still here. I first want to wish Dr. Professor Charles a very, very happy birthday. May God bless you. You are such an inspiration to me and all the youth out here, and I pray that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Today, we're talking about a very important topic, and it's not only important to me as a youth leader, but to many of the youth out there, it definitely is one. I'm a student, and like most of us here, I'm constantly told to skill up, learn coding, learn communication, learn AI, and learn leadership. But on World Youth Skills Day, I think we need to ask a bigger question. Skill up for what? Skills for a shared future isn't just a theme, it's a promise. See, skills without purpose are just tools in a box. A hammer is useless if you never build a house. A degree is empty if it doesn't build a community. The future we're inheriting isn't going to be solved by a genius in one room. Climate change, mental health, job loss to AI, misinformation. These don't care what country you're from or what school you go to. They're shared problems. So the answer to these problems have to be shared as well. That means that the skills that we need most right now aren't only the ones on a resume or a CV. First, we need adaptable skills. The jobs our parents had won't exist for us. The technology we learn today can be outdated in like 3 years. So we need to get comfortable with learning, unlearning, and relearning. Curiosity is a skill. Resilience is a skill. Second, we need human skills. AI, sure, it can write an email. You can use ChatGPT for anything to find online and even to gain information, right? But it can't sit with someone who's grieving, who's had a loss, who's not in a good state of mind. It can design, but it can't empathize. In the world of screens, the ability to listen, to collaborate across differences, to lead with kindness, that is very much rare, but it's valuable. And that's what makes a future worth sharing. Thirdly, We need courageous skills. The skill to speak up when something is wrong. The skill to start small. Teach one person to read. Clean one beach. Code on one app that helps farmers. We don't have to wait to be qualified to make a difference. I'm a student, okay? And yes, I don't have all the answers. I'm still figuring out my own skills. But here's what I do know. The future isn't something that just happens to us by day or by night. It's something that we build together as one, with the skills we choose to learn today. So let's just not skill up for ourselves. Let's skill up for the person next to us, for the generation that comes after us as a youth, for a shared future that none of us can build alone. Because when we share our skills, we don't just get better jobs, but we get a better world. Thank you so much to IIU for having me. It's always a pleasure of being here with everyone here as well. And thank you so much for having me here today. Barakallah feek. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. You know, you said something that was really, really important, Ambassador Azra, and it's adaptability. You know, I think that we haven't really heard very much about this, but actually it is probably the most important thing we're going to need going forward. It's not about abandoning your values, it's about adjusting your approach while staying true to your purpose. And I think that young people need to understand this. There's the willingness to embrace new ideas, acquire new skills, collaborate across generations, but find opportunities in these changing circumstances without giving up who you are and your values. And that can be very difficult sometimes. The most successful people of the future will not necessarily be those who know the most today, but those who are willing and able to keep learning tomorrow. So thank you again, Ambassador Azra, so young. And definitely, if there's something that everybody can take from them, is that we need to learn to be adaptable. Thank you. And now we would love to start with our global speakers. And I would like to invite, and I hope she's here, Afadil T. Gofhamodimo. Are you here, Afadil? Yes, you are. I see you right there. She is the founder of the Urge Promotions, award-winning poet, author, and youth advocate. I also have to say, she's one of those rising voices here in IIU and in world education policy. Welcome, Afadil. The virtual podium is all yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Virginia, for that warm welcome. And I would like to welcome everyone here in this platform where, as distinguished guests, fellow speakers, educators, youth leaders, partners, and young people, we are joined here from around the world. It's a privilege to join together as we commemorate World Youth Skills Day 2026 under the theme Skills for a Shared Future. When we speak about the future of work, we often focus on artificial intelligence, digital information, green economies, and emerging technologies. These are undoubtedly important. However, I would like to invite us to look even deeper. Before a young person can master artificial intelligence, they must first believe in their own intelligence. Before they can innovate, they must believe that ideas have value. Before they can lead others, they must first learn to lead themselves. That is why mental health and personal development are not optional. They are the foundation upon which every future skill is built. As the founder of the Edge Promotions, a global speaker, mentor, award-winning poet, and youth advocate from Botswana, I have had the privilege of working with young people in schools and communities. In partnership with Visionaries leading publishers, we visit primary schools to provide counseling, mentorship, motivational talks, book reading sessions, and publishing opportunities for Standard 5 and 6 learners. Our mission is simple: to help every child understand that their voice matters, their story matters, and their future matters. One lesson continues to stand out. Many young people do not lack talent. They lack confidence. They do not lack intelligence. They lack emotional support. Some carry anxiety, grief, fear, rejection, or self-doubt into their classrooms every day. And These are invisible struggles that affect how they learn, communicate, solve problems, and prepare for the future. If we want to build a workforce ready for tomorrow, we must first build emotionally healthy young people today. Mental health strengthens resilience. It improves decision making. It enhances creativity. It develops emotional intelligence. It enables collaboration. These are the very skills employers across the world are seeking, not only technical competence, but adaptability, empathy, communication, leadership, and problem solving. Personal development complements this journey. It teaches young people discipline, responsibility, and self-awareness, confidence, goal setting, and lifelong learning. It encourages them to see challenges not as barriers, but an opportunity for growth. These qualities empower young people not just to find jobs, but to create opportunities through entrepreneurship, innovation, and community leadership. An inclusive world begins when every young person feels seen, heard, and valued. A sustainable world begins when education develops the whole person, not only the mind, but also the heart and character. As educators, parents, mentors, policymakers, and community leaders, our responsibility extends beyond teaching subjects. We must teach hope. We must teach resilience. We must teach purpose. We must create safe environments where young people can ask questions without fear, express themselves without judgment, and discover their unique strengths. Technology will continue to evolve. The workplace will continue to change, but compassion, integrity, and emotional intelligence, creativity, and ethical leadership will always remain essential in human skills. As Nelson Mandela once reminded us, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. I believe that education becomes even more powerful. It nurtures mental well-being, personal growth, and human dignity. Today, I challenge each of us to invest in young people beyond academic qualifications. Let us invest in their confidence. Let us invest in their mental well-being. Let us invest in their leadership. Let us invest in their dreams. Because when we empower young people from within, we prepare them not only for the future of work, but for the future of humanity. Together, we can build pathways to decent work. Together, we can create, innovate, inclusive communities. Together, we can develop leaders who will use their skills to solve global challenges with compassion, innovation, and courage. The future is indeed shared. May we ensure that every young person is equipped not only with the skills to earn a living, but with the resilience, confidence, and purpose to build a better world. When I started, there's a book that I'm working on. It's called How to Monetize as your craft as a poet, because I saw my journey as how I've developed my skills as a poet and turned them into a book to say, I've learned this, I've seen how it works for me as a creative, I've seen how I've managed to make an income out of this. So this is what I'm sharing with young people to say, that to not say there are no jobs, and we can see the economy is changing right now. Things are changing, and we cannot say there are no jobs, but we have to have the skills, strategies that can help us monetize as individual creatives out there. So this is one of the things that we must do as the world, use what we have to empower young people to be able to not just lead, but lead ethically, not just be entrepreneurs, but have that entrepreneurs coming from within them. And thank you so much, Dr. Virginia, for giving me this platform to be able to share my mind. And thank you, everyone, for being present, for sharing your ideas, for sharing your mind in this very prestigious event. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Afadil. Completely. Always love to hear you speak, and definitely, I love inviting you, and for you to accept to come see us, because empowering youth from within is probably the key to everything that we're talking about today. And mental well-being is an essential life skill. So I think that we really need to understand how important in this rapidly changing world. Success is not really measured only by what we know or what we can do, but also by how well we manage stress, we navigate uncertainty, we build resilience, and maintain healthy relationships. Most importantly, how we walk into a room. We talked about confidence. How does that happen? Mental well being supports learning, decision making, creativity, productivity, and leadership. I really am happy that you brought this up because many times this is something that we shy away from. And just as we teach literacy, digital skills, and technical competencies, we must also help young people develop emotional awareness, self management, resilience, empathy, and healthy coping strategies. So, because a healthy mind is the foundation upon which all other skills are built. So, Fadil, thank you for bringing this to our attention. When we invest in mental well being, when we invest in our youth, when we invest in how they're coping with the new things that are happening around the world, we will strengthen these individuals, their families, workplaces, and societies. Thank you so much, Fadil, for being with us here today. Next, I would like to introduce to you a young person she's an educator. She's Dr. Krupa Mehta. Dr. Krupa is the liaison for world education policy between India and the United States. She is an educator. She is also a accomplished tenure track professor, and she is in marketing management for over 15 years. So let's welcome to the virtual podium, Dr. Krupa Mehta. The virtual podium is all yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Virginia and Mr. Piyush and all the professors and educators. So many happy returns of the day, Dr. Charles. And this is like International Youth Skill Day 2026. So we are expecting some outcome as a part of the education system, because we all have worked a lot, and I have learned about, all inputs from your side. It's like great inputs, but now it's time for execution and implementation. So I would like to highlight few points which we can combine together in 2026. It's like technical and human skills, because we need to teach young people to be so kind, to be humble, and adopting new techniques, along with that rapidly changing the world, including AI, digital technology. Green jobs are available, and they can become entrepreneur as well. So being that journey, they need to be humble, polite, and kindness. So we can develop such root while adopting that somewhat level of spiritual connection or epic, or we can teach them the real stories. And likewise, we can promote the human skills along with technological interventions. And then we can we can get the outcome of, we can develop the employability along with digital literacy, because AI is like changing anyway, so they can adopt the green skills, because anyhow they need to be, health conscious. They need to adopt some technology, but meanwhile they need to develop the brain as well. They can do some innovation in terms of the green technology, the healthy diet or something like, because so many changes are there in body and in health and day-to-day routine life, so they can intervene into that. Along with that, soft skills, because that is the main thing: how to communicate with the people, how to write the email, how to convey your point in a positive manner. That we need to teach them, along with leadership, adaptability, teamwork. problem-solving skills we can also teach them while adopting different case studies and developing the case studies with the real students or young people. Then we can develop such, lifelong learning mindset, which can develop the future of the nation. So this is like stronger collaboration we can do with youth, because while we are involving them in terms of the leadership and other activities, we can automatically develop, they can sustain in the challenging world, and along with that, they can develop the great society as well, whenever, like whatever the country is. So this is what we can develop being a educator and being a professor. So youth is like future of each and every countries. So this we can do. Thank you so much, all of you, and really great experience and glad to be part of it. Thank you so much, Dr. Virginia, Piyush, and all the team members.
Thank you. Okay, so I have a quick question. Thank you so much, Dr. Krupa. I don't think we were able to see your face. I think somebody else was pinned. Is that fixed? Can you see everybody now, or is Dr. Sumitra still pinned to the screen? Jeanette, can you see everyone now? Yes? Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Krupa. Definitely, your experience with teaching and working with young people, and definitely we know that we need to continue to give importance to both things, the technical part, the technology part, the advancement, we're knowing that things become obsolete every single day, but also continue to marry this with the soft skills that we have talked about. But most importantly, knowing that leaders support our younger leaders, and that is key. Thank you again for being here with us today. Now I'd like to welcome, all the way from Bahrain, Dr. Manan Al-Ashkar, Director of Education, Planning, Inclusion, and Digital Technology for World Education Policy. She is an educator and a huge advocate for inclusive education. Please welcome Dr. Al-Ashkar to the virtual podium.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning. It depends on the timing. It's my pleasure always again and again to be part of International Internship University summits, webinars in collaboration with WEB. Today I'll try not to take a lot of time, so just let me start directly. I would like to start my presentation with a big question. So if we don't ask ourselves, if not today's youth, then who? If not now, then when? So taking this question into consideration, I would like to start that now it's time to give the youth the chance to do lots of changes, to lead, to take action, to start initiatives, especially that the world has changed. As you all know, technology moves faster than ever. So nowadays we notice that problems are global. We no longer speak about local problems, but now most of the problems are looked at from a global or worldwide perspective. That's why solutions need to be innovative. They need require innovation, critical thinking, collaboration, and as others to repeat, these are the skills that our youth need to be ready for the near future. Let us say it's not that far future. So young people today understand the world better than everyone else. Why? Because youth usually have fresh ideas. They are so creative. They are courageous enough to challenge and to try new initiatives. If we talk about that, like technology or digital world, they have proven that they have better experience than ours. So nowadays we can see that a child who's in grade 1, for example, a student in grade 1 knows a lot of apps and he can access internet. He can navigate through YouTube or any different like platforms. So now it's time to give youth that go signal, because we have to have this vision. We should believe in their power, in their ability, in their stamina. And of course, we have to give them the responsibility to lead initiatives. And we should also, of course, work in every class, in every lesson. We should map our lesson plan template with the soft skills demanded in our 21st century, like collaboration, communication, resilience, responsibility, time management, and etc. So youth leadership in action usually happens in education. How does it happen? This can be through student councils, for example, when we give students the right to voice their opinion, to start new projects, new creative projects, to do peer tutoring. Why don't we ask, like, for example, let's say some students who are in high school to teach what they know for lower grades? This is an initiative that can be done. They can start lots of school improvement initiatives. We can also encourage them to take part in community services like volunteering, charity campaigns, social awareness projects. And of course, you know that in some universities, it has become a must where youth participate, take part, or even students, high school students need to participate to have this community service as part of their application to the university. Also, youth can take action in the environment. Of course, now we all know that we have climate action, climate changes, they need to take climate action. They need to make sure that they are living or sustaining their world, let's say the resources that we have. They involve themselves in recycling campaigns, in sustainability initiatives. When it comes to technology, of course, youth also have proven that they can do lots of innovative ideas. They can take part in international competitions. They have proven that they are the masters of AI innovation, coding, robotics, and application development. And finally, they can be global citizenships. Why? Because they have global understanding. They can be global citizens. I mean, they have global understanding, cultural understanding. Now, in every curriculum, we are fostering the global competences in our classes. So we encourage them to speak about human rights, to fight for their rights, to stand for their rights. And we also encourage them to make or to build peace, let's say, and inclusion, which the topic everyone knows I always talk about. Inclusion, because every learner has the right to be part of the educational system. We're not allowed to keep any learner feeling left behind. And from my experience in Bahrain, I've learned a lot that inclusion or inclusive education is very important to be part of every school around the world, because up till now we see that some schools still isolate those students who have special educational needs. So now it's today the time for nurturing the skills in today's leaders. Okay, we need to give them the chance to build up their critical thinking, creativity, problem solving, decision making, adaptability, digital literacy, and public speaking skills. For example, for example, personally speaking, I'm encouraging my daughter to start taking part in public speaking webinars and summits and so on. So I would like to see this done with every high school student. Everyone is involved, everyone is encouraged. Why don't we have also these opportunities open for youth in schools? So of course, some youth would face challenges, but we are always there to help them. And in order for schools to help in this part, of course, they need to have a student council where students can raise their voice, to focus on project-based learning, service learning, innovation, collaboration, and inclusive education. So finally, our role as adults is to listen to these youth, to trust them, to mentor them, inspire them, empower them with all the skills they need, to provide them with the opportunities, because some of them are really worthy and they deserve this opportunity. They have all the skills, but they need someone just to give them a helping hand or a push forward. So, and finally, we need to celebrate their success. I don't want to take any longer time. So my final message is that youth are not the leaders of tomorrow, but they are the leaders of today. They do not need permission to create a change. They need opportunities and not permissions. The future is not waiting, neither should we. So it's time to take action and give them a chance now. And thank you, everyone, for giving me the chance to speak and participate every time with such a platform that has all educators from around the world. It's my pleasure again and again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Manal. I loved your speech and definitely your enthusiasm really to take charge and like realize that our students, our young people are not the future. They are the present. I think that's something that you said that really resonated with me is believe in the student, give them responsibility. One of the most powerful things an educator can do is to believe in a student's potential before they fully see it themselves. Confidence grows when trust is given. Expectations are raised and opportunities are created. If we don't trust them, it's very hard for them to believe in themselves. Too often we underestimate young people by protecting them from responsibility instead of preparing them for it. If they did not do it well, if they failed in whatever the outcome was, it's not a failure. It's a lesson. So responsibility teaches accountability, decision making, leadership, resilience, and self-confidence. I'm very, very thankful to you for bringing that up because it is so important to believe in the student. Give them the responsibility, challenge them to grow. The leaders of tomorrow are built through the trust we place in them today. And I think that's really, really key and it's important. So thank you again. I want to invite Professor Charles, if he's here with us now, so he could give his message. Professor Charles, are you with us?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you beautifully. Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Thank God.
Welcome.
Thank God. Thank God. I need to appreciate everyone. Thank you very much. God has given it fit for us to see today. Today is a special day, my day. And I need to thank God also. We are celebrating Happy World Youth Skill Day. Happy World Youth Skill Day. It's a special day because a child of God is celebrated today. And I thank God for all that celebrated me. I thank God for your messages. I thank God for everything that you have said so much. May God continue to bless you and keep you safe from the hands of the evil ones. I appreciate all the speakers for today. I thank God all your good and outstanding words. I appreciate them all. I also appreciate all the audience for listening. I appreciate our God. I appreciate our great IIU founder, Sir Advocate Piyush Pandey. I appreciate our IIU CEO. I appreciate our trustee. I appreciate our chief executive, as I rightly said, and the executive director. I appreciate our council head president. I appreciate our woman entrepreneur, world woman council president. I appreciate every one of you. I appreciate the core team. I appreciate all the listeners. But I will say one or two things so as to make it concrete. What are those things I'm going to say? I want you to know that youth are fearfully and wonderfully made and blessed with unique gifts and talents. That is what the word of God says in Psalm 139, verse 14. God actually designed them deliberately, intricately, and purposefully. We should all praise God always. World Youth Skill Day is a United Nations observance held annually on July 15 to highlight the importance of equipping young people with what? Technical skill, with vocational skill, and with digital skill. We are called to nurture God. We are called to nurture them, giving them potential because they have that potential which God has given to them. And also, God has created them with potential. That is what we are being told. And learn and grow so as to honor and develop their talents. They are called to develop and have wisdom, which highlights that hard work and skill yield prosperity. They are called to prosper. They must uphold hard work and skill. This is called dignity of labor. They are called to develop their skills so that they can serve others. They are skills. Their skills can be vocational training, can be technology, can be entrepreneurship. This skill empower them to become a positive agent and change as they are contributing to the world development, since they are able to lift up those in need. As a young youth, you are called to always have faith in God and always be focused in whatever you are doing, which will bring about what we call food on your table. Today also call us to do what? Calls us, the educators, the educations, the organization, the government, to invest in practical training of the youth, most especially those that are unemployed in this present dispensation. Vocational training, apprenticeship, and entrepreneurship are necessary to prepare young people for decent work and economic independence. We are called to view vocational training and skill acquisition as a divine calling, emphasizing hard work, craftsmanship, and enable them to learn very well. Lifelong learning, practical skill empower youth to provide for themselves and avoid idleness, to serve their community and to bring glory to God through excellency of their labor. Exodus chapter 31 verse 3 to 5 tells us God endow individual with specific talent for trade. He fulfill Perseverance with the Spirit of God, with wisdom, with understanding, with knowledge, in all kinds of craftsmanship to build the tabernacle. Their skills are a God-given resources. Thessalonians chapter 4 verse 11, we are called to be diligent in our work and to aspire to live quietly and to mind our own affairs and to work with hands. We are called to always work with our wisdom and do lifelong learning. Proverbs chapter 1 verse 5, let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands should obtain guidance and help others. Entrepreneurship is a powerful tool for the youth to empower them and to make them to be focused on stewardship, on hard work, and community transformation. God has mandated us to develop the earth. Genesis chapter 1 verse 28. God has made us to be co-creators. Creating a business mirrors God's creative nature. Matthew chapter 25 verse 14 to 30. We are called to multiplying our giving resources. We are called to be producers, not just only consumers. Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 18. God gave us the power to lift weights. First Thessalonica verse 4 verse 11 to 12, urging youth to be hardworking with their hand and not to depend on everyone. We are called also to bless our youth with inheritance. Proverbs chapter 13 verse 22, Proverbs 22 verse 29, elevate skills, diligent workers before kings. Proverbs chapter 8 verse 12, linked wisdom with inventions. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 1, the mind, honest scales, and fair business dealing. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7, provide power, provide love, and provide self-discipline. By so doing, you are developing your character. You should always impart the word. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 28, advocate working to share with those in need. Word allow youth to fund community development. It is important for youth to have problem-solving skill, business solving, societal pains, reflecting God's cause. Youth are to have leadership in business and spread ethical values. Youth are called to be empowered with artificial intelligence, skills, technical skills, and technology as divinely given tools intended to empower the youth to fulfill their potential, solve real problems, and advance God's kingdom. Technical intelligence is a gift from the Holy Spirit meant to create economic independence and structural society. God wants the youth to know that learning coding, engineering, digital media, or trades is a holy endeavor backed by divine intelligence. Proverbs chapter 20 verse 29 tells us that the glory of God is in young men, is their strength also. Technical training provides a channel for youth to invest their mental and physical energy instead of wasting their strength. God called them to build technical capacity earlier to secure their future. God is the ultimate creator, and when youth use technology and technical training to solve societal issues, they reflect God's image. God strongly support learning digital skills so as to empower the youth today, and it is being seen as a tool, as a power tool for stewardship, provision, and service. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 29. For diligent work and praising skill. Digital skill build modern excellency. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 18. It provides wealth. It is power for wealth. Technical skill creates global job. First Timothy chapter 4, verse 12. Used to command youth leadership. Young people leads the technical space as a digital leadership. Matthew chapter 25, 14 to 30 demands active skill used since they are using their talents. Hidden talents limit youth potential. First Peter chapter 4, verse 10, urging serving community, bring about global importance. With digital platform, expand positive reach, and it expands it. With digital
What else, man?
Professor Charles, can you guys see him? Can anybody see?
No.
Okay. So thank you, Professor Charles, for your message. I'm sure that he will be back and he can probably finish it. But he's a great segue. He was talking about the strength and the blessings that we all have with our youth. And this was a great way to go into our second youth leadership spotlight, which reminds us that leadership has no age limit. Please welcome Christine Bassel Ajib. She's a high school student, very much focused on inclusive education. She's actually receiving a very powerful inclusive education, and she's an advocate for higher learning for all students. So, Christine, the virtual podium is all yours.
Good morning or good afternoon for everyone. I'm Christine, and as Dr. Virginia said, I'm a high school student, and I do care about learning a lot. I love learning. I love being open to new things, and I love, learning about a lot of things. Today, as everyone knows, is World Youth Day, and as a young lady or a little person here, I would like to share a little presentation I prepared and talk a little bit about how we can improve and help little kids or children like me.
Okay.
1 second. Does my presentation show?
Yes, we can see it. Just put it on slideshow.
Okay. So I'll talk about skills for a shared future. Every generation now faces its own defining challenges. And right now, our generation is mostly facing, I wouldn't say like a problem, I would say more like an improvement in technology. As everyone knows, technology has improved so much over the 10 years. AI, technology, new jobs, and everything. So how, as youth or as small young children, how can we use that as an advantage to make a better and a shared future? So why do future skills matter? As we said, the world is changing right now faster than ever. AI is reshaping jobs. Like 10 years ago, would there social media manager or AI prompt engineer weren't even jobs, but like right now they're needed around the world. And 97 million euros will emerge after by maybe 10 years, there will be a lot of more jobs that mostly focus on AI. So AI and automation, environmental change, and digital revolution. Every career now requires comfort with technology and data. Every single career around us uses technology and AI. For example, the smallest example or the most known example is how schools right now try their best to use new AIs, try their best to help their children learn about them. The core skills. What are the core future skills for um, a shared future? First of all, we need to focus on critical thinking. like asking questions, going out of the, comfort zone sometimes, trying to know more about things, being creative, imagine solutions that don't even exist. We need to be more creative sometimes. Communication, as I said, we need to express our ideas, let our voices be heard by people. We need to collaborate as teams across different across the world and everywhere to achieve shared goals. And we need to use technology responsibly and effectively, which is really important because AI is only good when you use it right, or AI helps you when you know how to use it properly. Adaptability, embrace change, and stay curious. You need to be able to adapt quickly, and move on. Like and especially if you're moving to a different environment from time to time. Leadership, inspire others and take initiative, and problem solving. So these 8 skills are different skills, and I'm sure every single one individual of us have at least 2 to 3 4 or whatever. However, these 8 skills need to be put together for them to achieve a goal. You can't, let's say, digital literacy without the critical thinking can lead to misinformation and more and more. So we need to encourage the audience to think about which skills they already have and improve the ones which are they're weak in. So they can use all of these skills, combine them, and achieve an amazing goal. These aren't just school skills or like, oh, you learn them in school. These are also life skills that matter in every job, every relationship, and every community. How is AI changing learning? So, AI isn't replacing teachers, or like most debates right now are like, oh, can AI replace a teacher? Can a robot replace a teacher? No, AI is more like a tool that's used by humans to make a better living, or like, let's say, it's just helpful. Like, you can use AI, you can use a lot of AI tools, but you need to use them wisely, and you need to be able to address your audience properly when using them. Also, as a student, I believe that students should be able to use and should be open to be using a lot of AI. So, but correctly, maybe schools could make like a campaign. They could just join like workshops on how to use this type of AI and how it would help and whatever. This um, this is really effective, and it could help students worldwide. So, it's estimated that maybe by 2030, 85% of the jobs will not exist yet. Like right now, they don't exist, but by 2030, they will. And 3 times there's going to be a faster change and learning potential. Your brain's always ready to grow. And like the most important skill, I mentioned 8 core skills, but one important and another skill is like for you to never stop learning. Don't ever stop learning. Okay, it's not about, oh, you only learn in school or whatever. Yeah, I come here, I do my homework, I'm done. No, I should be more curious. I should be more open. I should read a book, learn new different skills, join a webinar, join a workshop. The more you're compassionate about doing something, the more it's gonna be helpful. And it shows that the career you'll have might not even, it would help you in your future when choosing a career. Like the more skills you have, the greater the opportunity. Building skills through schools. Your classroom is a skills laboratory. For example, when school asks us to work on projects, there's collaboration, and that's gonna gonna help us create the new relations, because we're gonna be working in a team or a group. So teamwork, presentations and debates, speaking up builds confidence, critical thinking, and leadership. If schools make, let's say, more debates, organize more presentations for their students, they're gonna be able to speak up confidently. They're gonna be able to argue, but of course argue respectfully, and like gain a lot of information from their debates. And digital and tech classes, coding, data, media, prepare for your digital world. So even as I said, disagreements with classmates teach you how to handle conflict, and this also leads to problem solving skills. People together across cultures and backgrounds, innovation, creativity, and critical thinking that solve tomorrow's problems, and sustainable knowledge and responsibility to protect our planet for future.
This is the heart of the shared future. Your skills won't just benefit you on your own, they would benefit your community, your country, and the whole world, even the society you're in. Every skill you build is a tool that you can use to make the world a little bit better. I advise young people right now to learn more, to improve their skills, to build for their futures, and to be compassionate about it. To want to know they need the compassion to do things, because the more compassionate you are, the more it's gonna be easier for you. And I want to thank IIU for having me for the second time. It's really my pleasure, and I'm so happy to have a chance to share everything with everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Christine. I love to hear from somebody young, lifelong learning. That is the skill that powers every other skill. If there's one skill that will define success in the 21st century, it is the ability to keep learning. And for young people, this means understanding that education does not end with graduation. For leaders, it means remaining open to new ideas and perspectives. For organization, it means creating cultures where learning is continuous and it's encouraged. The future belongs to those who never stop learning. So thank you, Christine, for bringing this to us and explaining it so beautifully. Your presentation was great. Thank you. Both of our youth representatives today were amazing, amazing. Thank you so much to both of you. Now I would love to bring to the stage a committed educator. I've met him recently, and I'm very, very excited about the prospects of becoming the leader with our organizations. He believes in the power of global collaboration and the power of global education. Please welcome Salam Karim to the virtual podium.
Thank you so much, madam. I hope my voice is audible. I would like to share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. And first of all, I would like to wish Professor Charles a wonderful happy birthday. Is my screen visible to you all?
Not yet.
Okay, just a moment. Is it visible right now?
We can see it downloading. There it is. Yes, we can see it now.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank the prestigious event today. I would like to share a message today, which I think so most of the presenters and youth representatives have already discussed. What I will be discussing in the presentation is not something new. Our honorable distinguished presenters, distinguished panelists, and the people who have joined us today have already discussed most of the important topics. I would be just highlighting some keywords. And first of all, this is something that we are doing it for everyone. Hi, I am Salman Karim, and let's go ahead with the next slide. Okay, this is slide 2. We have already discussed about artificial intelligence, digital transformation, the green transition. What I want to suggest, and we already know that human beings possess different skills. We are looking into AI, but I would stress on the green transition. AI, artificial intelligence, digital transformation is something very important. But with the present situation where there are climatic changes, tsunamis, earthquakes, you can understand that there has been also a pandemic. So green transition is also very important. And I would like to highlight one thing. Human beings are just like plants. They have different qualities. Just like different flowers, they have different specialties as well. So just like we have different AI models, we are not comparing human beings as models or phones. They are unique and they are really special creations of God. In today's situation that we have joined today, we celebrate the World Youth Day. The present topic that we are discussing today is skills for a shared future. All of us with the presenters and the people who are also joining in the Facebook Live as well, they are all capable of creating a remarkable future that we are seeing today. And it is not just with the digital transformation or artificial intelligence, but through unique collaboration. Let me tell you one particular thing that I wanted to highlight. We know about the Sustainable Development Goals, which is very important. In 2015, it was talked about that the name was changed from MDG, that is Millennium Development Goals, to Sustainable Development Goals. These Sustainable Development Goals, highlighting with the fact 17 goals were discussed, and we needed, it was a visionary mission as a world project. And through that project, we wanted, and it is a vision for all the global leaders, and it is about how we can think global, act local, and create an impact. It is not just a world vision, it is a vision so that we can have a prosperous, united efforts where education is not barred, where education can be beyond just the classrooms or beyond just the places that we have seen. It should be that education, quality education, is dispersed through learning mediums, through radio stations, through the initiatives. Every child has the right to learn. If we talk about in the context of Indian context, we already have discussed about right to education. We already know that the United Nations have talked about that how children, it is important to make children literate today. And we have already seen the examples like the Ambassador Azra and Christine. You can see the transformation in today's session itself. They are the future of tomorrow. We already know that we have distinguished professionals. They shed their limelight to the current collaboration of youth. Together, we can create a very unique perspective where both the experienced, it's not just the Gen Z or the Gen Alpha model or a thing. Please understand, we are together. Each generation, every parent, every brother, every sister, we are all together. We want to create something that has human skills as well, as much as the technical skills. I would like to tell you one thing, that I have been a beta tester of Britannica Studio. I have tested the particular product, and I have literally gone through that product where we could have enhanced the research skills in a particular product. I am an innovator, and I personally like to talk and interact with students. As our ambassadors and different student representatives have also already talked about CPDs and continuously developing skill buildings, skill building workshops. One thing we need to understand, that learning never stops. And learning, the power of education empowers us beyond the age. I have been in a university where age is not a barrier. It is an open university, and I have learned the skills, and I continuously provide. I have learned those things, and I have also provided that opportunity to other teachers, students. We are working with the NGOs and different professionals so that we can enlighten them with the prosperous things that I have learned. The impact is we learn, we share the ideas through every medium. And as I told before as well, it's think global, act local, and create an impact. It's not just within this framework of the seminar or webinar. We are celebrating the World Youth Day, Youth Skills Day today, but it should not be just one day. We would celebrate the empowerment of youth each and every day. 365 days we will be remembered that today we have gathered and we have taken something beyond this webinar. Let's go ahead. Empowering youth with future skills. We already know digitally confident, but ethically proven, that they need to be ethically supervised with what they are using. AI can go confidently wrong. Trust me, when I test certain AI tools, I feel that it's not just creating any infographic. And I would be talking one thing. I have been working on infographics, the V module, where sensory preferences of students can be dealt with in the classes, where how as a teacher I can engage the learners which are present in the classroom. As a project which we are working, I am working on an innovative app where learning is not just through the textbook. Also, textbook is the central element, but it is not the only element. We are thinking about how we can refract the information into different processes, different ideas, just like you can serve rice into different procedures of cooking styles or cuisines. Similarly, the same text, without changing the original content or the authenticity of it, how we can digitally provide these tools and give that opportunity to youth to learn in different design learning format, quote unquote design learning, where we design the same process in different processes. So we already have innovative thinkers, we already have purpose-driven leaders. We have seen today, we have talked about it. Our leaders and our distinguished panelists have already given a lot of examples. We have collaborative citizens where we have talked about from different nations. Today you have seen people from all across the world. And we have lifelong learners. We have already discussed, our previous speaker, Christine, has already talked about lifelong learners. Now, building pathways to decent work, we already know education is something that's very important. Skills development, that has been talked about. Innovation that actually creates and has the way of problem solving. Problem solving has already been taught. Employability is something that is very important. There are many students who have the voice, who have that particular skill, but it needs that particular right direction. You know, one of the things that we feel of the current situation, the youth is very powerful today. They have the technology, they have the speech power, they have many talents as well. But at the same moment of time, we need to give them that sphere, that space to perform, that space to talk about, that space to express about themselves. We are also talking about, when we are talking about innovation, we are also talking about entrepreneurship. The leaders or the youth that we are talking about, they are the people who would be representing tomorrow. They will be bureaucrats. They will be professionals from all parts of the world. They will be professionals from different parts of rural areas as well. Even special learners as well, who might not be in the fame of students, but they also would come up. You would be understanding through the different positive efforts that we have seen through entrepreneurship ideas and goals that are there. So through decent work and inclusive growth, we see every young person deserves not only employment, but meaningful, dignified, and future-ready work, which actually carries a meaningful impact. One particular thing, visionary leader and People's President, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, as I had talked about that particular thing, how to empower youth. They are the energy. They are the tomorrow of the situation. And this is what is something that is very insightful. You can see a child is lively. They always have that immense creativity at their brink of their eye. And that is why every children has the scope to become someone. Next slide. This is the last slide. A shared future requires shared responsibility. This is where youth is at the center of our collective efforts. For many of the situations, we already know that teachers anchor, spend time, create a difference in the classrooms, that they tirelessly work. Today, I want to tell you one thing. Let's celebrate one thing, that we would make them learners and future teachers. They will become future teachers, so we would give them opportunities. I have just seen some videos from James International School where small children, they are teaching their peers. And I like to follow every particular motivation that is there. You can gain motivation not just by reading books. It is important. Books are important. But human are lively books. If you read the people, when you see the videos, you will understand that small children can teach their peers as well. So youth are the center. And you can say this is a student-centered approach. I have discussed about one of the topics, level-based learning, where students are the center of the stage. They are the architects of the class or the modern-day classroom. So the governments, industry, private sector, international organizations, youth in the center, civil society and communities, of course NGOs who actually collaborate as well, so that quality education, they work tirelessly to provide those education and reach it beyond the borders, where education is not limited just with money or monetization. It is given quality education. And when you see young children smile, that makes your day. I know it sometimes feels difficult for the people when they see that those prosperous people, when they become future leaders, when they come back to the teacher, madam, I have actually created something, or sir, I have created something. You will feel that you have literally done something in your good work. You will be remembered not just through your service, but through the memories of them. It's not about what subjects that we teach, it's about how we teach them. Educational institutions are obviously one of the key importance, because this is why it is important. So I would like to end this thing, that collaboration is the most powerful skill of the 21st century. We already know. Ending with this further thing, that we need to collaborate, include, innovate, invest, and sustain. With the final remarks, the future is not built by technology alone. It is built by skilled, empowered, and compassionate people working together. When we invest in youth, we invest in humanity's shared future. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Salam. This was a great presentation. I know you went through it quickly, but it was very, very complete. And one of the things that I really kept with me is change is inevitable. There was something very small about change, but I think we haven't talked about it enough. Um, Skills make us future ready, but because change is inevitable, many of the careers that will define the next decade are still emerging, while some of today's jobs will evolve significantly, or disappear altogether. So thank you again for speaking about collaboration. This is what we do here in IIU. Mostly what we look for is global collaboration to really accelerate action in the different areas that we would like to create impact. So thank you again for such a complete presentation. Now I would like to invite our next speaker, and that is Professor Dr. Suraya Bano. Dr. Suraya Bano is a powerhouse here for us here in IIU. She is always here to support. And one of the things that she's always participating is in IIU Africa, which does a wonderful job with Professor Charles. So, Dr. Bano, the virtual podium is all yours.
Very good evening. This is Professor Dr. Suraya from India. Happy World Youth Day. Shaping our shared future, skill, decent work, and a sustainable world. Respected esteemed teachers, distinguished guests, and my fellow change makers, the youth of today. As Antonio Guterres, United Nations Secretary General, said, as this year's theme reminds us, navigating these rapid changes calls for a new set of skills, from digital literacy to green technologies and social emotional intelligence. A very warm welcome to you all on this momentous occasion of World Youth Skill Day 2026. We stand at a unique crossroads in human history. The world of work is not just changing, it has fundamentally transformed. The rise of advanced artificial intelligence, the reality of climate change, and our global interconnectedness have rewritten the rules of employment. Today, as we really under the global theme, skills for a shared future, we are called to reflect on a critical truth. The future does not just happen to us, it is built by us. To build a world that is fair, green, and resilient, we must commit to a threefold mission: empowering our youth with future-ready skills, building clear pathways to decent work, and creating a deeply sustainable world. As Ban Ki-moon said, investing in youth skills development can transform young lives and entire communities. Empowering youth skill with futures. Let us begin with the foundation, future skills. For generation, education was a linear path. You went to school, memorized facts, got a degree, and secured a job for life. Today, today that linear path is gone. The most important skill we can learn is how to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Empowering youth with future skills mean going beyond traditional textbooks. It means mastering digital literacy and AI fluency so that technology becomes our partner, not our competitor. But technology alone is hollow. The future demands a balance. We need green skills to understand and heal our planet. And just as importantly, we need human-centric skills that no machine can ever replicate: empathy, critical thinking, cross-cultural communication, and emotional resilience. These are the skills that turn young minds from passive job seekers to active global problem solvers. Second one is building pathways to decent work. However, developing this skill is only half the battle. Skills without opportunities are a tragedy of wasted potential. This brings us to our second mission, building pathways to decent work. Design work is
Oh. Can you see Dr. Banu? Okay, so we'll wait for her to come back. For now, we'll continue then with Dr. Sumitra Singh. Dr. Sumitra Singh comes to us as a associate professor.
Sorry, I'm getting late for my prayers. Please allow me. Please.
Okay, Dr. Sumitra, if you are so kind, we will go ahead with Honorable Professor Dr. Shainul Banji. Please, the virtual podium is yours.
Distinguished IIUs, office bearers, Honorable CEO and host, Dr. Virginia, my fellow educators, youth leaders, ladies and gentlemen, peace greetings to you all. Please forgive me for not switching on my camera. Today we gather not merely to commemorate World Youth Skills Day, but to reflect upon one of the defining questions of our generation. Will artificial intelligence shape our future, or will skilled young people shape artificial intelligence for the good of humanity? This question lies at the heart of this year's theme, Youth Empowerment through AI and Digital Skills. Never before has one generation stood at such a remarkable crossroads. In today's times, a younger person sitting in a village with an internet connection can access knowledge once reserved for the world's greatest university. A teenager can design software used across continents. A young entrepreneur can build a global business from a single laptop. A student can collaborate with researchers thousands of kilometers away. Technology has become the great equalizer, but only for those who possess the skills to use it wisely. Ladies and gentlemen, history teaches us that every era has been defined by a dominant skill. The agricultural age rewarded those who cultivated the land. The industrial age rewarded those who mastered machinery. The information age rewarded those who mastered knowledge. And now the AI age will reward those who combine technology with creativity, ethics, adaptability, and wisdom. Do notice that I said wisdom, not merely intelligence. Artificial intelligence can answer questions, but only human wisdom can ask the right questions. Artificial intelligence can analyze data, but only human compassion can understand suffering. Artificial intelligence can generate solutions, but only human integrity can determine whether those solutions should be used. That is why the future belongs not to machines, but the future belongs to people who know how to work with machines without surrendering their humanity. Now let me talk of the skills that universities rarely teach.
We have 2 minutes, 2 minutes. 2
Okay.
minutes.
Allow me to speak about skills that receive far less deserving attention than they deserve. The skills of learning. Then the skills of asking better questions. The skills of ethical judgment. And lastly, I would like to say that every hour spent learning a skill becomes an investment, and every hour spent without purpose becomes an opportunity lost forever. Thank you all for listening to me. I simply appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shainu Banji. You always bring us such insightful thoughts and comments. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now we want to invite to the virtual podium Dr. Sumitra Singh. She is a professor, associate professor in law school. So the virtual podium is all yours. We need to hear from you definitely today.
Ma'am, am I audible?
You are audible and we can see you. We love it. Thank you.
So I'm sure I have only 3 minutes to speak, but I really want to speak these words because it's a very beautiful day. We are talking about World Youth Skills. So I'll tell you that I love Jesus, and I'll start my speech with what Jesus said. He said that number one, earn thy bread with the sweat of thy brow, which means that it is only through hard work that you should earn your bread. I am a great lover of Lord Krishna, who once told to Arjuna how you can control your mind. Lord Krishna says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha griyate. That means mind is very, very turbulent, but you can only control your mind only by practice and renunciation. There is one more thing. This person, Arjuna, was feeling very faint hearted. He said that I'm not going to fight this war. He was getting very depressed. He was getting very anxious. He was getting very nervous. To then, Lord Krishna exalted and said, Klapya masma gamaha partha natatvayu papadyate shudram hridaya daurbalyam tiktvatishta parantapa, which means that it's okay, Arjuna, it's okay. But then remember that this faint heartedness doesn't befit you. Rise up and go for the war, which means that no kind of tiredness or no kind of faint heartedness should occupy the minds of the youth. Last but not the least, I remember Martin Luther King Jr., the most revered Martin Luther King Jr., who said that I have a dream. I have a dream which is deep rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day all of my 4 children will live in a nation where people are not judged by the color of the skin, but with the content of their character. I have a dream which is deep rooted in the American dream, and that I hold these truths as self evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the hills of Georgia, all the sons of slaves and the slave owners will sit together on the table of brotherhood. And to that, everyone, up the virtual podium here, I would like to quote Alfred Linton, who said that culture and subcultures are nothing but the sets and the subsets of the cultural dimension which is passed on from one generation to another. So, my parents or your parents gave us a world. What we are going to the next generation lies upon us. Undoubtedly, Gen Z, Gen Alpha is the best and they will take this legacy forward. But what lies on us? So, today, what lies on us is that dream, deep rooted in the dream that there will be equality and that nobody will be judged with the color of the skin but with the content of the character. So on this beautiful World Youth Skills Day, I would like to say what every other speaker has said, that is best. Maybe digital literacy, AI, machine learning, communication skills, perception, everything has to go together as per Alfred Linton. But ladies and gentlemen, one thing that will go with you is your values. A value that you were born not just for your society but for the global world, and which is why in India we feel that the entire world is not just one globe, it is one global village. And I would, from the bottom of my heart, congratulate Dr. Virginia ma'am, who has organized this beautiful conference. How many people in the world today are thinking about equipping the youth for the future? So I think podiums like this and with our leader, Advocate Piyush Pandit sir, I think together we can make a difference. Together, it is not just my job or your job, but being global citizens, let's join hands together and make a world which is as beautiful as our parents gave us. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sumitra. We needed a dose of you for sure. We love having Dr. Sumitra, and she always brings us these amazing quotes, these leaders around the world, and I really enjoy every time that you join us, and we learn so much. So thank you again for joining us. She's also part of the World Education Policies core team, so we're very privileged and additional to the IIU. So thank you again. And we arrive to the last of our speakers today. She's a respected educationist whose work continues to inspire learners and educators alike. She's involved in many things. She wears many hats, but education is the closest to her heart. Let's welcome Mrs. Shweta here from India. Welcome, Dr. Shweta.
Namaste, ma'am. Namaste, everyone. And it's my privilege to be the part of this World Youth Skill Day 2026 celebration under the inspiring theme, Skills for the Shared Future. To start with, imagine a world where your skill, not your background, not your geography, not even your age, define your future. That world is not decades away. It is here and it's being shaped by today's youth. We are living in one of the most transformative period in human history. Artificial intelligence is changing how we work. The green economy is redefining industries. Digital innovation is creating careers that did not even exist a few years ago, like many speakers said. In this rapidly evolving world, the greatest currency is no longer just knowledge; it is the skill. The number tell us the powerful story. More than 1.2 billion young people will enter the global workforce over the next decades. According to the World Economic Forum's Future of Job Report 2025, 39% of the today's core workplace skills are expected to change by 2030, and technology is projected to create 170 million new jobs worldwide. Yet millions of young people still face a critical skill gap, reminding that opportunity must be matched with the access to quality education and lifelong learning. This is why World Youth Skill Day is not just a celebration; it is a global call to an action, and this has been fantastically articulated by all of you. As a sorry, as a placement chairperson and a college academic head, I have seen that and I have talking with the hundred of the students and the leading recruiters. I found that now one thing has changed, that the kind of question recruiter used to ask previously, it was degree, but now they used to ask what is the skill set, what you can do, and how you will perform. And I have personally seen students transform their career simply by learning one additional skill. This is a student who hesitate to communicate, improvise communication skill, and just get a chance. Another student secure a better place Excel, dashboard, and profile in LinkedIn, and attracted opportunities, applying those opportunities in different live projects and the internship. That is also very important. Now the companies are also playing very important role, with the colleges and schools. Now the company also hired interns and they train students according to the requirement. And we are seeing that how this beautifully changing the complete landscape of the requirement. And it's rightly said, the future belongs to those who don't just earn degree, they earn skills. Imagine a student who can use ChatGPT for research, Canva for design, Excel and Power BI for data analysis, Python for automation, LinkedIn for networking, and AI tools to solve real world problems. Such a student is not job ready, but they are the future ready. And these example connects technology with employability and resonate well with the student, educators, and industry leader. And while the process, the educator are also enhancing themselves. I still remember that how the complete teaching methodology has been changed and how we also have to upgrade ourselves. Like every season, we need to check where is the gap, and accordingly, the modulation is there in the placement readiness program. So every time we are coming up with the new tools and technology, and which has been used most or across the world. And it is a reminder that every skill learned today can become tomorrow's innovation. Every opportunity provided can transform a life, and every empowered, young person can become a leader who shapes a stronger, more inclusive, and more sustainable world. If we invest in the young people with the right blend of the technical expertise, digital literacy, creativity, communication, leadership, and entrepreneurial thinking, we won't just prepare them for future, we will empower them to create something new. And it's always said that education has is the most powerful weapon which can be used to change the world. And it's said the future does not simply happen, the future is built, the future is shared, and the future begins with the skill we nurture today. And thanks for ma'am, for giving this wonderful opportunity to speak in this beautiful forum where all dignitary I was listening to all of them, and they articulated each and every word, the technology, the empathy, the emotional intelligence part. And thank to you and Piyush for conducting such sessions. Thanks once again. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shweta. And I just want to say, let's wrap up this beautiful day with something that you said. Every skill learned today can become tomorrow's innovation. That is amazing. That's beautiful. And it just fills us with a lot of hope. I would like to read a message from our founder. As founder of the International Internship University and World Education Policy, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to every speaker, educator, partner, and participant who joined us in celebrating World Youth Skills Day. The future does not belong to those who wait for change. It belongs to those who are prepared to create it. Skills are the bridge between potential and opportunity, between dreams and achievement. Today, let us renew our commitment to empowering young people with the knowledge, values, confidence, and practical skills. When we invest in youth, we invest in stronger communities, stronger economies, and a more peaceful future. To every young person listening, believe in your abilities, continue learning, and never underestimate the impact you can make. The world needs your ideas, your energy, and your leadership. Together, let's build a future where every young person has the opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive. Thank you, and have a happy World Youth Skills Day. Advocate Piyush Pandit. So thank you, sir, for these incredible words and a great way to finish. So as we bring this celebration of World Youth Skills Day to a close, I want to leave you with one final thought. Today, we spoke about skills, education, innovation, technology, and the future of work. But behind every one of these skills is a human. Behind every certificate, there's a dream. Behind every opportunity, there's a young person hoping that someone will believe in them. The future will not be built by technology alone. It will be built by people who know how to think, create, collaborate, adapt, and care. It will be built by young people who are given the chance to discover their potential and the courage to use it. It is okay to fail. It is through failure that we succeed. Let that sink in. To every educator, mentor, parent, policymaker, and leader joining us today, never underestimate the impact of your encouragement, what you bring to the table. Sometimes one opportunity or one conversation, one teacher, or one act of belief or a random act of kindness can change the entire course of a young person's life. And to the young people of the world, your future is now. It's not something that happens to you. It is not something that you create. Continue learning, continue asking questions, continue believing that your voice matters every single moment. And I think that one of the things that I really want to reiterate today is like perfection is highly overrated. Highly overrated. Dare to be different, dare to innovate, dare to ask the difficult questions, dare to try anything that you've thought of. Potential alone is never enough. Dreams become reality when they are matched with skills. And I just want to say, because when we invest in you, when we invest in youth, we're not simply preparing individuals for work. We're preparing the leaders of the world that we want to live in, and also the world that we want to leave for future generations. So let us believe in our youth. Let us believe in their potential. Let us trust with responsibility, and let us walk beside them as they build a better world for all of us. I always say that the greatest gift we can give a young person is not simply knowledge. It is the belief that they can make a difference, and we can all make a difference. When we start from service, everything else happens. So thank you all for being here today. For every single speaker, before you leave, if you can open your cameras, I would love to take a picture of you really quickly. Our group photo. I know that some people had to leave, but and the birthday boy. There's our birthday. Yeah, Vice Chancellor. There's 1, 2, 3. Another one. Let me take my glasses. 1, 2. Yay. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great, great rest of your night, day, or evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye,
Thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you, everyone.